Hello, I'm very happy today, not only because upcoming new year, but I finally finished one model. Yep, this hobby takes a lot of time, but instead you can receive small masterpieces produced by your own hands on your shelves. So not very popular plastic scale model kit from AFV Club in 1:35 scale, STRYKER M11 MGS, and in previous episode we started this model and today we finish it. Okay, let's assemble unmanned turret with 105mm gun. We have two big details around the barrel. First of all, we can provide vertical movement for gun by adding two vinyl rings inside plastic one. Do not glue these details. Also, we have aluminum barrel with spring. We have to insert rings and barrel into the correct position between two big plastic parts. By the way, I sanded just a little this plastic inside, so barrel moves freely. After that we can add additional panels around the gun. So step by step it grows in details. One of the variants how we can glue these plastic parts of the barrel in right position is to use modeling tape. I fix these parts and then just use extra thin modeling glue. After that add more glue. Well, I think we still need here some putty and sanding paper to fix some gaps. Meanwhile, with the help of this detail and axis, we will provide vertical movement of the gun. The same detail will be on an opposite side. It also would be covered with additional layer of armor. As you may see, a lot of details already installed, among them smoke grenade launchers, handlers from plastic and from metallic in-box details from this plate. So I put them here with the help of super glue gel. We may see here detailed instruction and even some photos how this details looks in real. So the details were banded a little and add 2 drops of a glue and that's starting the process of gluing of these material handlers. Then press details for better connection. In the end we can band them additionally, something like that, so they became more realistic like real textile handlers. The same handlers will be somewhere here, but at first I need to finish panorama optics. This detail, inside it I insert vinyl ring, so it is movable. It also has transparent part, and one part of it was painted with transparent green paint for glasses, according to instruction. Now I want to put here inside some pieces from CD disc or DVD disc to imitate real panorama optics. Like I told in previous video, such pieces help me to make optics more realistic. Okay, here we have our optics on the top of this mobile gun system. What about turret? It's almost assembled. It was boring a little because a lot of small separate details. Now it's almost finished, except the machine gun on the top of this gun, Browning, and triplexes. What to do with triplexes? Well, it's a big question, but because they are opened, have no coverage, and it will be a little bit difficult to imitate them like real one triplexes. We can install stock transparent details, paint somehow them, or apply on them some colorized tape. Well, see what I do with it. Browning, not so many details. At first we assemble body of this machine gun, apply details on a glue, some other additional details. Well, actually it was not so easy, some details are very small, and the basement of this machine gun is kinda complicated. Okay, let's return to the hull of this STRYKER, and as a braiding bonus for this kit I stole several bags from old kit of Abrams tank, which maybe one day would be completed, but not today. So except 4 canisters from this kit, I add 3 more bags on it. So there will be 3 canisters and 1 bag from one side, and 1 canister and 2 bags from other side. After all model was covered with a fine layer of Vallejo's Mecha Series black primer, it looks pretty cool. Highly recommend this primer, Mecha Series from Vallejo, I love it. I covered all details with a primer, including wheels and small separate details. Now we can paint in a base color all this kit. The better solution would be to take a forest green paint, but I haven't it, so I decided to use something like Soviet 4BO green paint, and I highlight it and mix it with a light gray paint, so it became more close to forest green. Also, to make this color more colder and close to forest green, you can, if you want, apply a blue filter on your model, but I wouldn't do that. So I received this fine layer of cold green color, and it's close to the result I wanted to achieve. Additional add here gradients and highlighting. Additional hightings on small details. I provide it with the previous paint, but add here more grayish color and use extra thin, extra small hand brush. Our striker has a lot of details, nice relief of this kit, so it would be a great solution to add such a highlighting effects on it. You can make brighter or darker tones for highlighting on your taste. Actually, it was not so difficult, but now this model looks way more interesting as for me. Okay, we finished with this. Small details like these instruments, they were painted in gunmetal and ochre tones to imitate wooden parts of instruments. What else we can do here? Well, these bags, they was painted in one of the dark green colors that I have, but not in the same tone as the base color of this kit, to provide some difference between bags and armor. And now I use dry brush technique and some lighter green tones, and due to dry brush technique I provide more relief and more interesting view of these bags. So now it looks more realistic. I skip a lot of painting works with this striker. Well, one day I will try to show them step by step, maybe during the Cossack MRAP project final episodes. Anyway, everything were as usual: primer, base color, some highlighting effects, gloss varnish, wash, some additional oil weathering effects, and so on. Okay, let's try to add matte effects on wheels. But at first let's connect our tires and discs together, which were painted separately. As you see, there is no problems with different colors of these wheels, because they were painted separately and now they can be easily connected. Dusty effects I will use here as the same technique as it was on Zero Interceptor, where the roll of wash was played by oil paints. So our wheels has fine layer of gloss coat, and now I make a mix of gray and brown oils and just applying it with a hand brush over my wheels. Different colors of oil paints provide you different variations of dust, so you can do everything on your taste. After that, with the help of napkin, I remove excess of oils and repeat the same process with all sides of these wheels and with all wheels of the striker. It has 8 wheels. Yep, dusty work, but why not? And the glossy surface of these details helps me to remove the excess of oils in easy way. So we received such wheels. Not bad, something similar was repeated in one of the previous episodes with the Cossack interior. Something similar was repeated with the lower part of the hull, but here I use mostly dry brush, almost without napkins. And let it dry up till the next day. After that I will cover here everything with a fine layer of matte varnish. And maybe spray here additional layer of dust, or just use here dry pigments. Before the model would be completed, one more matte thing, triplexes. In the first episode I talk a little about them. So such a CD disc in a purple colors, I disintegrate it in small pieces and receive big amount of small pieces that has a similar geometry as real transparent details from this kit that imitate real triplexes. Well, I glue them with the help of this transparent glue from Uhu that can hold plastic details. Well, not so good as a super glue, but instead it makes no damage to my CD details. After that, with a green color, I covered edges of my custom triplexes, so now they look much better. You can also paint rear part of the details in green, but I want to add more realistic relief of these details. I talk about slope on the rear part of the triplexes, so I found colorized paper from one of my paper models, Cherry Japanese tank. Prepare and paint small cardboard pieces and install them with the help of the same glue. Now they look much better. Actually, it would be more easier solution just to paint somehow, for example with transparent purple paints for glasses stock triplexes, or to use here colorized tapes, but I haven't them, so I decided to do triplexes in this way. Oh, by the way, don't forget to apply transparent parts from the box to imitate glasses on headlights and rear lights. They were painted with the chrome paint, and the transparent parts also were painted according to instruction in clear red and clear orange paints. Main headlights would be transparent. As a glue for these details I used the same glue as I used for triplexes from Uhu, but you can also use here gloss varnish. So here we can see how our lights looks like, and they're really cool. And one more thing, the last one this time. Antennas, I made them from metallic wire and imitate such spheres on the top of them with several drops of PVA glue. And let's check the final result on these models. So, STRYKER M1128 mobile gun system 1-35 scale from AFV Club. It was unusual, not so very popular, but very interesting and highly detailed model. Yep, the prototype may be not the best armored vehicle in the world, it has some problems, and it was produced not in big numbers, but as a scale model it's great. This kit has some disadvantages, for example, the assembling process of turret is kinda complicated, and in the end I can't freely move this gun's barrel in vertical position, because I can break some details here, but in general model is fine. Almost in-box assembling except optics provided by CD discs, antennas from metallic wires and backs from Abrams tank. It was painted with acrylics paints, there were some gradient and highlighting effects, oil wash, oil drops technique, some dust imitated with oils and dry pigments. And I hope one day I will make a step-by-step guide of these classical painting techniques on scale models. Well, I'm mostly fan of World War II armored vehicles, but these modern wheeled tanks inspired me for new interesting projects of modern armor and, of course, continuing of old existing projects. So please leave some your opinion on this model, on this kit, and maybe tell what you want to see, which models you want to see on this channel. Anyways, thank you for attention, for watching, have a nice day, happy new year, good luck guys, and bye, see you next time.